My parents sent out a Christmas invitation with one condition typed in bold at the bottom: adults only, no children under any circumstances. I almost said yes. Until my 6-year-old son accidentally picked up a family video call the night before Christmas. And behind my parents, I counted 3 kids laughing around the tree. My sister's kids, the ones who were allowed. My son looked at the screen confused and asked one simple question that nobody in that room could answer. By the end of Christmas dinner, my parents would wish they'd never sent that invitation at all. If you've ever been told you weren't enough, that your child, your family, your love wasn't appropriate for the occasion, this story is for you. Stick around, because what happens at that Christmas table is one of the most satisfying moments of quiet, deserved justice you'll hear all year. Like this video, subscribe for more real stories of people who stopped staying silent, and let's get into it. My name is Emily Carter. I'm 31 years old, and until last Christmas, I thought I understood exactly where I stood in my family. I was wrong. I have a son, Noah. He's 6. He has my mother's exact laugh, the same startled little hiccup at the end of it. And for years, I told myself that had to count for something. That no matter what tension existed between me and my parents, Noah was still their grandson. Still blood. Still theirs in some way that mattered. The tension didn't come from nowhere. 3 years ago, I made a choice my parents never forgave me for. I left Noah's father. It wasn't dramatic. There was no affair, no big blow-up, just years of me shrinking myself smaller and smaller until there was nothing left to shrink. My parents didn't see it that way. To them, I had broken up a family. I had made Noah a statistic. My mother actually used that word at my own kitchen table, while Noah colored 2 feet away from us. Since then, invitations to family things got quieter, smaller. My sister Rachel, 2 years younger, married to her college sweetheart, 3 kids. The whole set became the standard everyone measured against. Every holiday photo my mother posted had Rachel's kids front and center, dressed in matching pajamas, grinning by the fireplace. I told myself I was imagining the difference. I told myself a lot of things. Then the Christmas invitation arrived. An actual paper invitation. Cream cardstock. My mother's careful cursive handwriting. Christmas dinner, 4 p.m., please dress festively. And at the very bottom, almost an afterthought. One line that wasn't an afterthought at all. This year, adults only. No children under any circumstances. I read it 3 times. I told myself it made sense. Maybe they wanted a calmer holiday. Maybe it was about the good china. Maybe. I am an expert at building maybes into bridges I can walk across to avoid an uncomfortable truth. I picked up the phone to RSVP, yes, already planning which sitter I'd call for Noah. Then, the night before Christmas, my sister video called me to ask what I was bringing to dinner. Noah, sitting beside me on the couch, grabbed my phone before I could answer and hit accept, giggling, because to him, every video call is a game, and there they were. My parents' living room, mid-decoration, string lights half strung across the mantel. And behind my mother's shoulder, unmistakable, unmissable, 3 children. Rachel's kids, weaving between the furniture, one of them already holding a candy cane, laughing at something out of frame. Noah went still beside me. I felt him go still, the particular stillness of a child doing math he doesn't want the answer to. "Mom," he said, in that small, clear voice kids use right before they ask the question you've been dreading. Why are they allowed to go? Silence, not the comfortable kind, the kind that has weight, that presses against your ears. My mother's eyes flicked to the camera. My father's jaw tightened. Rachel, to her credit, looked like she wanted to disappear into the floor. Nobody answered him. My mother said something about needing to finish wrapping gifts, and the call ended. Not hung up, ended deliberately, the screen going black mid-sentence, like slamming a door in a child's face. I sat there holding my phone, and something in my chest cracked clean down the middle. Not loud, not dramatic. Just a quiet, final kind of breaking. The sound of finally admitting something you'd spent years refusing to see. They hadn't banned children. They'd banned my child. Noah looked up at me, waiting for an answer I didn't have. I told him it was probably a mix-up, that grown-ups sometimes get confused about invitations. I hated every word coming out of my mouth. I hated that I was already protecting them, the way I'd been protecting them my entire life, at the cost of protecting him. That night, after Noah fell asleep, I sat at my kitchen table with a cup of tea going cold in front of me, and I made a decision. I wasn't going to call and confront them. I wasn't going to send an angry text that they could screenshot and use as proof that I was difficult, the label they'd been trying to pin on me since the divorce. I was going to do something simpler and far harder to argue with. I was going to show up. With Noah, on time, dressed festively, exactly as requested. I didn't sleep much that night, running through what I'd say, discarding version after version of a speech, until I realized the most powerful thing I could do was say almost nothing at all. Let the silence they'd taught me to sit in do the talking for once. Christmas afternoon. I dressed Noah in the little red sweater my mother had actually bought him 2 years ago. Back when buying him things still felt safe for her. I remember his small hands smoothing down the front of it in the mirror, proud, asking if Grandma would like it. My throat closed up. I told him she would love it. We drove to my parents' house in near silence, Christmas music playing low on the radio, my hands tight on the wheel. I kept picturing my mother's face when the door opened. I kept picturing every possible version of what came next, and none of them made the knot in my stomach loosen. We reached the porch. Through the window, I could see the party already in motion. Rachel's kids weaving around the legs of adults holding wine glasses. My father laughing at something, the tree glowing exactly like it had on the video call. I rang the doorbell. My son's small hand found mine and squeezed. My mother opened the door already smiling. The automatic hostess smile she wears for every guest. And then her eyes dropped to Noah. And the smile didn't so much fade as evaporate. I watched it happen in real time. I watched 31 years of being taught to make myself smaller collide head-on with the one thing I would not make smaller anymore. My son, standing on her porch in the sweater she bought him, waiting to be let in. "Emily," she said low, glancing past me like she was checking whether the neighbors could see. "We talked about this." "You told me adults only," I said, keeping my voice level, keeping it warm, keeping it exactly as pleasant as if we were discussing the weather. "But Rachel's kids are already inside." So I figured the invitation must have meant something different than what it said. Her mouth opened. Nothing came out. Behind her, my father appeared, and behind him, Rachel, wine glass frozen halfway to her lips, her face doing the same collapse my mother's had. The collapse of people who'd built a comfortable arrangement, assuming no one would ever hold it up to the light. "This isn't the place," my mother said quietly, which is the thing people say when the place is, in fact, exactly the place, and they know it. "You're right," I said. "It's not. It's a Christmas dinner. With family. All of it." I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. Noah's small hand was still in mine, and I could feel him watching all of this with the wide, careful attention kids have when they know something important is happening, even if they don't understand the shape of it yet. My father tried next. Gruffer, going for the version of authority that used to work on me automatically. "Emily, don't make a scene." "I'm not making one," I said. "I'm ending one you already started. You made a rule that only applied to one grandchild. You can either explain that to him yourself, right now on this porch, or you can let us in, and we can have Christmas." The silence that followed was long enough that I heard the neighbor's dog barking 2 houses down, long enough for Rachel to set her wine glass down on the hallway table and step forward, her face flushed, guilt written across it in a way that told me she'd known exactly what this rule was really about the whole time and said nothing. "Mom," Rachel said quietly, "let them in." My mother's eyes moved from Rachel to me to Noah, and something in her finally cracked too, not into an apology, not yet, but into the recognition that the version of this story where she got to stay comfortable had just quietly ended. She stepped back from the door. We walked in. Dinner that night was the strangest, tensest, and ultimately most honest Christmas my family has ever had. Nobody pretended everything was fine, because for the first time in years, nobody could. Rachel's kids and Noah ended up sprawled together under the tree within 20 minutes, arguing happily over a board game, utterly unaware of the war their existence had just settled. Partway through dinner, my mother found me alone in the kitchen, refilling water glasses. She didn't apologize outright, that's not who she is, but she said, quietly, staring at the sink instead of at me, that she hadn't thought about how it would look. I told her it hadn't just looked a certain way. It was that way. She didn't argue. It wasn't a movie ending. There were no tearful hugs, no dramatic speech that fixed 31 years of quiet favoritism in one afternoon. But something shifted that night that hadn't shifted before. For the first time, my parents had to sit with the discomfort I'd been swallowing for years. In front of the whole family, with nowhere to hide it. I didn't get revenge that Christmas. Not the kind that burns a bridge to the ground. What I got was something quieter and, honestly, more lasting. The simple, stubborn insistence that my son belonged at that table exactly as much as any other grandchild. Sometimes justice doesn't look like a dramatic confrontation. Sometimes it just looks like refusing to accept a closed door and walking through it anyway, hand in hand with the person you're protecting. If this story hit home, smash that like button and tell me in the comments, have you ever had to stand your ground for someone you love, even when it meant an uncomfortable confrontation with your own family? Subscribe for more real, powerful stories like this one, and I'll see you in the next video.